everyone, and welcome to the Department of Orientation and Junior Student Involvement's first webinar. Today's topic is financial aid and student accounts. My name is Brianna Klein, and I'm one of the program coordinators for orientation this year. And I have three lovely panelists with me today. I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves, what department you work for, and if you want to give us a little bit of an idea of what services your department offers to students as well.
Hi, I'm Sarah Kaufman. I'm an assistant director in the Office of Undergraduate Financial Aid. Our office is located in the University Center on the second floor. We handle all of your award packages for University Financial Aid through the FAFSA and the profile. We also help you with any outside scholarships. If you're receiving checks from that, we'll guide you through how we can get those posted. Any other financing options that you are looking at that you need aside from what we've offered you, and if you happen to get lost and you're offshore, we can always guide you in the direction that you need.
Hi everybody, I'm Neila Quesada. I work in student accounts here at the university. Student accounts office is in the Ash building, room 158. We mainly handle all your bills, your payments, third-party sponsors, and refunds.
Hi, and I'm Darby Plummer, and I work in a department called the Kane Success Center. And the main focus of the Kane Success Center is helping connect students to resources here at the university to ensure that they're successful. We are a great place to start when you're having some struggles getting adjusted, settling in, making a community, maybe some struggles with finances or academics. We can make sure that you get to the resources and services that UM has to offer, that you reach your academic potential here at UM, and ultimately your goal of graduation. And I share office space with financial aid, among other offices. We call it the Nest, and it's located on the second floor of the UC, the University Center, on Suite 2275.
It's really great to have you all here today. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of anything you guys do, what is the main focus incoming students should have right now? What should they be worried about, and what should they physically be doing at this point of the summer?
If you guys are, I actually brought materials. This is my one and only thing to share with everybody. But all new, particularly new students and transfer students soon enough, will have gotten a thing called the Road to UM. This was mailed to all U.S. Students, people who live in the United States, and everybody received a link to an online version. So if you're an international student, you have access to an online version. It's at miami.edu/Road to UM. So this is literally everything that needs to happen this summer. It gives you dates and deadlines of what has to happen and when, and then it gives you all the inside pages, give you all the detail of what it is you need to be working on. If you follow this guide, it'll take you from start to finish, including financial aid and paying your bill, to make sure that when you arrive in August, everything you need is ready to go. So Road to UM is the best way to get started.
I also wanted to point out to please make sure you have your University of Miami email set up. So we, our student accounts departments, we communicate with you via email. We send you many notifications of things to do, guidelines, deadlines, everything we do through your email. So please make sure you have it set up and you check it consistently.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, now that you're a University of Miami student, all university communications go to your UM email address. So everything that the university ever communicates to you is going through your UM email. So that is absolutely the place where you need to spend time. Be sure you link it to your mobile device. Actually, how to do it is listed here in the Road to UM, so that what you check or see most often is you'll have access to it.
Okay. So you're a new student, you're learning about things that you've never had to deal with before. So could you define and talk about the differences between, because this is a financial aid question, between what is financial aid, the aid package, and a financial advisor?
Sure. Well, financial advisor is anyone in our office is an advisor, regardless of if they're a senior advisor, assistant director, associate director, and so on. We advise students about how we award eligibility, how you go ahead and apply for financial aid, the types of financial aid that are available to our students, and the process. So that the award package happens after you've done your financial aid application. Okay, just making sure, sorry. So when you file your FAFSA and your profile, we'll ask for some additional documentation, specifically taxes from both your parent and yourself if you worked and filed. We then use all of that to come up with what we call an expected family contribution. From that, then we determine your need, and we do the best that we can to meet that need through the use of different forms of financial aid, whether it be from federal aid that includes grants, loans, and work study, as well as any type of merit scholarship that you may be receiving from the university, and then any institutional need-based funds, some things that we call a UN Quo grant, a UN Enhancement grant. We have endowed scholarships that we give out based on need, and we put all those things together to meet that need to help you cover your expenditures here at the university. Unfortunately, sometimes it may not always be enough, so we do have other resources we can guide you on to make up that difference. We'll take you up to what's called the cost of attendance, which is the estimate what it would cost to go here, so that way you can best finance your education here at UM.
Before we continue, something I forgot to mention at the beginning is this is panel-based, so if you're watching, please feel free to type your questions in the chat on the side, and I'll be receiving them, and then I can ask them more specific questions just that you guys are asking. But to continue on, I think
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm here as the color commentator.
Yes,
so just by the way, I'm like the little side. One thing that sometimes can be confusing for new students who've never been in a financial aid world before is the difference between scholarships and need-based aid. So scholarships, a merit scholarship particularly, is something that you earn based on your high school performance, and it is awarded to you in a comparison amongst all the other people who were admitted to UM at the same time as you for this year. So you get that merit scholarship upon admission. You have to maintain a 3.0 or better GPA throughout your time here at UM to maintain that scholarship. Need-based aid can be grants, which is what you would consider free money, grants, but also loans and work study, as Sarah had mentioned. So need-based aid is something that can fluctuate from year to year based on your family's situation. If you find yourself in financial hardship, it's possible after review that your need-based aid could increase. If in fact you win the lottery, it's possible that your need-based aid would be reduced. So every year you reapply, and the need-based aid can fluctuate. So that is not a guarantee. The merit scholarship is as long as you meet the standards of the scholarship. So that's something that can kind of confuse people. I know that also going forward, a lot of people hope to earn a merit scholarship once they're here based on their academic performance here at UM. That is not possible. Merit scholarships are only offered upon admission, and from that point forward, the only changes in your aid would be from need-based aid, and that's the UM's way of meeting more need for families who have demonstrated need.
I also wanted to point out that financial aid packages usually are done in a yearly basis, academic semester. However, your bill is going to be due in a semester basis. So every time at the beginning of the semester, you're going to have to.
Yeah, that actually feeds perfectly into my next question, which is, what is the timeline that students and families need to now know for this? So at what point this summer are they going to be receiving their financial aid package, all the way to what is their due date for receiving their bill? I know it's in the road to UM, but just to give them an idea and a guide for the people who are listening right now.
Usually the bills are due the beginning of the month that the semester starts. So, for example, now the bill is due August 1st. And I also want to let everybody know that after we do have a deadline that they need to meet, and they're subject to cancellation, meaning that their classes can be dropped if they don't pay.
Yeah. But that's a really good rule of thumb, that it's always going to be due at the start of the month that classes start.
So spring starts at the mid-January, so the beginning of January, the bills will be paid.
And how much time before that are they receiving that financial aid package for the fall?
Well, we have some really early deadlines for financial aid. Most students who are incoming for this upcoming academic year in the fall should have already received their financial aid work package along with their admissions decision.
Okay.
So that was our goal, something we initiated last year by sending out your admission letter. If your file was complete at that time, you received your financial aid award letter with it so that you could make the best decision to attend UM. Make sure that this is something that is feasible for you and your family. If you haven't received it as of yet because you were waiting and wanted to get your admission decision first, that's understandable. A lot of families wanted to wait on that. The best thing to do, you should be checking your to-do list. If you haven't received something stating what you're getting as of yet, there may be something outstanding that we need from you. But the majority of our students should have their award letters by now. So with that being said, the most important thing to do is to log into your K-Link account to view your financial aid award letter. There are certain aid that you do have to accept. Anything that is a scholarship or grant is an automatic acceptance because it's free money. Things like work study or loans are things that students have to accept. They have to go into their K-Link account to the student services area. Under financial aid, you'll find for the academic year 2018, you click on it, it'll have your award letter for each semester, and you can accept, reduce, or decline the aid that's listed if there's loans in work study, which is the primary focus. Once you've accepted that, then we kick off the process to send that information through to the Department of Ed to process your loans. If you haven't done this already, I strongly suggest that you go out there and take a look at it. If you were debating on those loans, even if you accept it now and want to contact us later to say, you know what, never mind, it's okay. Prior to the start of school, we can always, cancel out those things. If you are taking out student loans, after you accept it, you should see something pop up on your to-do list the next day called asking for you to complete what's called a master promissory note and entrance counseling. That's done through the Department of Ed. So that's basically you signing and understanding that you are taking out a loan. It's also then like a little mini quiz of rights and responsibilities of what's entailed in taking out the loan and what happens. That right now is what if you've done all those steps, really you just kind of hang out. Check your to-do list. Yeah, kind of check your to-do list from day to day. Make sure that nothing else comes up. We do ask for when you arrive, it's an I am here confirmation. That so that will pop up and say that you are attending classes. It's our way of making sure you're here for the money that we are paying out to you towards your account.
So the big takeaway is check your email and check your to-do list because everything you need is really going to be there.
Yes, and at that point, if you've gotten your award letter, you've accepted it, you've done another item, you just kind of hang out for us, and then
Well, and you have to be enrolled in 12 credits or more.
Correct.
So this is one of the things, like do all your paperwork for financial aid. Make sure that there are no to-do items pending because your aid will not come to you or to your account if there are any, even one, incomplete item sitting in the to-do box. And you mentioned scholarships. There's a scholarship agreement. You have to sign the agreement and send it back in. People who are getting need-based scholarships or grants have to write thank you letters to the donors. That goes up as a to-do list. So those are all things that you need to take care of to ensure that the money that has been awarded to you through financial aid actually goes to your account. But anyone enrolled in less than 12 credits, less than full-time, will not get financial aid on their account. So we're in the middle of the registration process. You want to be sure you register for a full 12 or more credits. So that when the bills do come out, that your financial aid will be showing on your account. One thing about the registration process is that sometimes students are waiting for a class that they would like to open up that might be put themselves on a wait list for right now. The wait list doesn't count as enrollment, so those 3 credits for that class will not be showing up as a full-time enrollment for you. So you would want to be sure to sign up for the best possible set of classes that you can get into, and then use the swap feature in K-Link that you would like to swap a particular class out for this second class if it becomes available. But you want to be sure that you are positively enrolled in at least 12 credits or more to get started. And by the way, if you want to graduate on time and minimize your debt and cost to the family, The goal would be 15 credits or more per semester. That's 15 to finish, 15 in 4 years straight, and you're on the road.
And credits can sometimes be something that's hard to understand, but on average, a class here is 3 credits. So by taking 15 credits, you're taking about 5 classes a semester.
Something real quick to touch on. Darby mentioned the 12 credit enrollment, which yes, you want to make sure for billing purposes it's accurate, you know what you have to pay, what have you. But you want to make sure that you maintain that if you are switching up your classes, pay attention to what we call a census date. Typically, it's after the add drop period, usually early September is when we look to lock in your classes, and that's at that point, that's the snapshot we go off of to pay your funds out. So if you're in 12, but then you were waiting for that class and you're switching it out, and then you don't pick up another one because you think it's going to open and you're only in 10, when we take our snapshot at census date, unfortunately it's going to show that you are not full-time and we won't be able to pay funds out to you. And that's an end-all date. There are no appeals for that or anything. That you could lose out some serious eligibility if you're not full-time.
And apart from that, I also want to let everybody know that they can enroll online if you know that you have an excess amount of money in your account, meaning that you have more financial aid of what you're being charged. You're going to get a refund for that. And I just want to let everybody know that there is an option in Kingman to enroll for direct deposit, which I highly recommend to avoid paper checks getting lost and to an address that is not accurate. So please go on Kingman and enroll. If you have any questions on how to do that, you can contact our office at any time.
So I think a common question is always how do you work with the payment plan? So I guess how does it work, and how should you go about setting it up if that's something you're interested in doing?
Yeah. Okay. Payment plans. Payment plans is something that the student enrolls. I know that many parents, especially new students, freshman students, take care of the bill for the sons and daughters. But it's a payment plan that the student is enrolling themselves. Mm-hmm. So they have to go on Kingman. They have to enroll. The main point is make sure that you're enrolled in 12 credits or more. You have all of your charges there and they're accurate, and that your financial aid is at least showing as pending aid. Everything. Because how the payment plan works, it subtracts your anticipated aid or already posted aid, subtracted from the full amount that you owe, and then it calculates your installments into 4. So it divides what you owe into 4 installments, and we do have a 3% administrative fee that will be charged and divided as well in 4. We do have set deadlines, meaning August 1st of every month. August, September, October, and November. November should be the last payment plan installment. Same thing with spring, January, February, March, and April. So if you do have about 30 days after the first to enroll in a payment plan. However, if you do enroll after the due date, just know that your first payment and the second payment will be due on that time that you enroll. 1st of August is the due date, and for all bills. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's also the due date for the first payment plan installment.
I'm going to go off topic for a second because we do have a question from someone who's watching. They're wondering if anything can be done to have an in-house scholarship reopened for review.
Scholarship, I'm assuming they mean a merit-based scholarship.
Yes.
Okay, so unfortunately, no. Merit scholarships, all decisions are final from the Office of Admission. They, like Darby mentioned, it's off of your academic performance from high school, typically test scores, grades, your writing sample, things like that. This past year, it was a very competitive pool. I don't think they gave out as much merit money as they have in the past because of how highly competitive it was. So, with that, unfortunately, no. If you were not offered a merit scholarship upon admission, I do apologize. I strongly recommend that if you haven't looked at other outside scholarship options, that you do. 2 great websites to look for other scholarships is fastweb.com, F as in Frank, A-S-T, web.com. Also scholarships.com. Also look at other organizations that are offering scholarships. Typically I've seen from Burger King, Publix, the Kiwanis Club, I've even had from police departments,
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, all of these things. I mean, have conversations with individuals, mention that you are looking for other resources to assist in funding. You'll never know what's out there. I myself got one from Brown County School Board strictly because my mom was an assistant principal and they had one for administrators, and she never knew it existed until she happened to be in a conversation with someone about me starting college, and they said, well, why didn't you apply for this?
Mm-hmm.
And it was as simple as writing an essay,
Mm-hmm.
going before a committee, and it was $1,000. So you never know until you start to look and have those conversations.
There's a second question, which is, could you talk a little bit more about the NCP waiver, and if there's any troubles with it, who in particular you should contact about it?
Okay, that's done through the Office of Student Financial Assistance and Employment. The NCP waiver, there is a website for it, so a lot of you are probably familiar with the general one from College Board.
Okay, let's first tell
Yeah.
me what it is.
Yeah.
It's the
It's the non-custodial parent
If your
waiver.
parents are divorced and it's the parent you're not living with.
Yes. So, different from the FAFSA. FAFSA only asks for one parent. So, if it is a divorced home where your parents have never been married or what have you, it only asks for who you live with. So, say it's just mom. Whereas the profile is going to ask for both parents, even if both parents are remarried. So, there are situations we understand that other parent, the non-custodial parent, is not around, or for many different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The waiver is typically used for when there's no contact, you don't know where that parent is. Typically, the student fills it out. They explain the situation. Typically mitigating severe extenuating circumstances. You have to provide any supporting documentation. So we have a lot of students if there's court orders or anything that go with it due to some severe situations. If there isn't, and it's just that parent has never been in your life, which we understand, we ask for an outside third-party letter on letterhead from someone who's not a family member or a relative, close friend. We see them from doctors, lawyers, typically school counselors or guidance counselors are the ones we see most of because they may have had a relationship with you through that high school period where they knew teachers, things like that, someone who can attest to what you're saying to us. It goes before a committee. If we did, the committee looks at it, we make the decision. If we're able to grant it, we waive those requirements and solely go off of you and your custodial parent information.
And you should know that the way I always hear it coming from financial aid is this idea of like someone being resistant to help, that it doesn't count. So if you're in communication with a non-custodial parent, they've been in your life, but they're not willing to help support you during college, that is not going to be eligible for a waiver.
We have a lot of those situations where the non-custodial parent just doesn't want to provide information because they don't want the custodial parent to see it. And that's understandable. And if that is the case that you're in where they will give us the information, they just won't give it to you or your custodial parent, reassure them that it's going through College Board, through the Document Imaging Service, IDOC, and neither you or the other parent will ever see it. We are the only ones. I've spoken to a lot of non-custodial parents where I reassured them, even if you just want to send it to me directly, to avoid all of that. We have some of those situations, and that unfortunately wouldn't qualify for a waiver. Strictly them just refusing to contribute, unfortunately, is not another reason for the waiver. But you're more than welcome to talk to our office. You can email us at ofas, OFAS, at miami.edu. We can, definitely answer those questions. We are available by phone, Monday and Friday from 9 to 5, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9 to 6. It's 305-284-6000. It's option 2. We can discuss that with you, explain what, you can tell us what the unique circumstances, if you think you do or do not qualify for this. We can tell you driving to our website of where to go and walk you through that process.
And again, aid won't process as long as that, non-custodial profile piece is missing. So you need to resolve it one way or the other.
That actually, what you were saying feeds specifically into the next question we got, which is who should someone call specifically or reach out to if they need assistance regarding their financial package? Do you guys prefer inquiries based on email or phone? Like, what would be the way for people to get their most efficient answers?
Honestly, it's your preference. Our inbox typically requires at least a few business days to respond, especially if we're busy. Sometimes it can take a week or so to answer. You're welcome to call us if you want to get someone on the phone right away that day. There's no one specifically that you have to ask for or email. We all take turns on client services, as we call it, to service our families. When you call in, or even if you're local and you want to come in, whatever advisor is assigned on duty that day to see our families in person or for a phone call will assist you. All of our staff is very knowledgeable and able to help. It's just up to your preference. If you want an answer right away, go ahead, give us a call. If it's something that's not urgent or pressing, you can shoot us an email, and we'll get back to you.
And the appointments are walk-in appointments.
That was my next question.
Yes, you don't
when you
have to-
arrive on campus, for all of your offices, if someone
Is
needs
available.
help, they're all walk-in based, correct?
Right. You don't have to get an appointment. Just walk on in.
Just
All right.
Ash Building 158 student accounts, and we'll help you.
All right, perfect. Yeah, we found that sometimes that face-to-face interaction is always going to get you the most efficient help that day. All right, so we took a little detour, but back to our questions. We're talking about the payment plan. So you touched on this a little before, but what happens if for some reason that deadline passes and the bill is unpaid?
Warning.
The red light
Yes.
needs to go off.
We do need to
All
discuss it.
students are subject to cancellation.
And what-
Meaning
Okay.
that all their classes, their schedule is going to be cancelled or dropped. They do have a reinstatement period. That's something that once they do go through the cancellation process will be explained to them. Either our office, via email, via calls, any of those, which pretty much is they have time to pay their bills. Unfortunately, not online, not via credit cards or online payments. They would have to actually submit a payment via wire transfer to our office or a certified payment in check. Certified check, not even personal checks. And then we will put, they'll go through a reinstatement process with our office, where we will contact their advisor, registers, will activate the term, and they can add the classes back. If they were on a wait list and the class is full, and that's all going to go away if they don't pay on time.
So also you won't be able to move into housing.
Also.
Yeah, the bill is due August 1st.
Yes.
And that's why it's so important to make sure that you've taken care of all of your financial aid things so that your aid is processing the way it should. Because on August 1st, if the bill isn't paid, your schedule will be cleared. You will not be able to move into housing until the balance is paid in full. And if your aid isn't processing and you're counting on that to help pay the bill, that won't matter. You will owe in full what is due that semester. And it sounds a little harsh, but the reality is, from the university perspective, we understand that this is a big investment for families. And if making that first payment in the first year is something that you're not able to manage or is causing extreme stress and anxiety for you, then it might be better to consider a different university or a different situation. We don't want to saddle you with a balance due that you can't manage over time. So it's actually, it's better for everyone involved that you don't have this lingering balance over your head if it's not something that you're going to be able to manage for the next 4 years. So that's why the policy is in place, and that's why it's so important to get your financial aid taken care of, so that there are no extenuating circumstances that'll get in the way of that cancellation, because that if the aid isn't showing as pending, financial student accounts, it's going to cancel.
So we have another question.
I just want to say, if you have special circumstances, like as third-party sponsor, tuition remission, and please reach out to your office or the proper offices like benefits to let them know that you will be attended in the fall, and make sure your classes don't get canceled if you know you're going to be covered 100%.
That's a very good point. So this question is about Florida prepaid. So it's how does Florida prepaid apply to the University of Miami because we are a private institution? But also, what is the current status and like where on their financial aid package would they see where this is applied or in their bill?
You wouldn't see it on us.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's going to be
Yes.
student accounts.
Yes.
Florida
So many
prepaid, it's mainly designed for public institutions in the state of Florida.
Mhm.
It can be used in private institutions like UM. However, it's handled as a third-party billing, meaning that they're like 5 to 9 accounts similar. We set them up with a bill online at the department that places a temporary payment on their account until Florida prepaid pays the university, and then it's cleared. They do need to fill out the specific forms. They're on the student account website.
There's two forms,
There's two
right?
forms. There's one
One-
for Florida prepaid,
And that tells Florida prepaid how
That-
much they want to be sent to UM, right?
no, that tells Florida prepaid they'll be attending one.
Okay.
Now, how much Florida prepaid pays, it's rates that come out every academic year. They usually don't differ much from one year to the other. It can go up and down. It depends on Florida prepaid. However, it's an estimate of $116 per credit that they pay. The standard is parents usually purchase the 4-year university, which is 120 credits. You do have the option of restricted or unrestricted. Where restricted is you do a specific amount of credits every semester, and you know for sure you're going to have a payment coming in. You can have it unrestricted, which is you can bill Florida prepaid for either 80 credits, 120. It's up to you. So because UM is private, it's a little more flexible. However, it does pay a specific amount of money, about $160 per credit.
And then the follow-up question is, if someone has submitted their forms, is there somewhere they can go to check that it's processing? It's okay if the answer is no.
Right. No, they can, but however, the bill is not ready yet for
Okay.
fall. So once the bill is ready, there's specific dates that our advisor that handles Florida prepaid will post the deferments on their account, and they can say on their account activity on payment that the deferment is already there, so they know that they have a sort of a payment posted on their account.
Could they call student accounts and would you be able to see whether that's out there waiting? No, not until.
So when
Just
the
make
bills
sure
come
the
out.
form is submitted. If they can get a confirmation saying we received your form, it will be processed.
Mhm.
Then that's all that they need.
And then it'll show on the bill when it comes out on July 10th is when the bill for the fall
Yes.
will come out, and then you'll be able to see it.
Yes. And that's a question that would be directed to student accounts.
Correct. If they have any questions for our prepaid, they can always contact us.
So since we're on the topic, how do other scholarships such as Bright Futures that are Florida-based scholarships apply to UM as well?
That would go through the Office of Student Financial Assistance. So, if you are eligible for Bright Futures, we have a state aid processor who pulls that information in and we post your eligibility. There's two different types of Bright Futures. There's the Florida Academic Scholars and the Florida Medallion Scholars. As mentioned, we are a private institution, so it does differ than that of a state institution. It goes a dollar amount per credit hour. So if you are the higher tier of the academic, it is $103 per credit hour, and the medallion is $77 per credit hour. So on average, when we process your award, we average it to be, you think you'll take 15 credits. So even if you only enroll in 12 or say you enroll in 17, we will adjust that based on your enrollment. So if you know you're eligible and you don't see it on your award package, please make contact with us so that we can double check the state's website and your eligibility to get that out there, because each week we are pulling that in and updating it. We will lock in those credits after the ad drop period. So none of your state aid, whether that be Bright Futures or what used to be known as the Florida Resident Access Grant, it's now called EASE, none of the state aid will pay until after the ad drop period. They're required by the state to wait for you to pass through that, lock in your hours similar to census date, and then pay those funds. So you'll see those as credited on your bill. They won't actually disperse and apply to your account till later. Bright Futures can be for other things aside from tuition and fees. So say you do tuition remission or merit scholarship, it will be in conjunction with all the other aid. The FRAG, or EASE as they now call it, is $3,300. Check your to-do list. We have been putting items out there to ask for proof of residency. It's for the claimant, which is your parent, not for yourself. We do get a lot of students getting their driver's license. Once we get two items that prove Florida residency, we'll take those items off your to-do list. That is a tuition restricted fund, so that is going to go to tuition and fees. It will go to your tuition and fees. Can't go towards housing or any other outstanding charges. So if you have tuition remission, tuition remission will look funny. It won't be the full tuition amount. It will be less than that to include your E's. Same thing if you have a scholarship that's some type of full scholarship, maybe you're hymn, your dance, or singer, it'll be changed to equal that. But you'll see that E's out there. It won't pay out until you've given us those two proofs of Florida residency, typically a driver's license, voter's registration, car registration, homestead exemption, those kind of things. Your to-do list, when you click on the proof, it will actually give you those two different lists. So if you have questions, you can drop those off, mail them, scan and email them to us, and we process those through, but those will credit to the bill just like your other aid.
So just a quick summary, Florida Prepaid is through the Office of Students Accounts, and all other Florida-related scholarships is through the Office of Financial Assistance, just to help you so when you need to direct your questions, you get the most efficient answers to them. So a common question people get is, as a parent or as a family member, how do they get access to a student's bill or financial aid package?
Okay. That's something that students can give access to. They need to log into Kingling. They go to their student center, and on the right-hand side on the top, it says Share My Information. They can click there. They can pick what they want to give access to, either paying the bill, seeing financial aid, their grades. It's up to them. Then they can, once they complete all the steps on their end, an email is sent to the proxy or delegate for them to set up their own login into Kingling. They can follow the steps and contact IT if they have any questions.
Yeah. It's all the details of that are all in the Road to UM. But a couple things to keep in mind. We really, really recommend that students do include their parents. So there's 4 choices. There's financial, there's billing, there's health, and there's academics. We absolutely recommend that the families get access to billing and to health, if nothing else. This they call it a delegate or proxy access, gives the university the ability to discuss these matters with the person you designate. So if you don't give them access, then they don't get your bill. If you were to have some sort of an accident or suffer a health situation, it's not something that we could discuss particularly with your parents without your permission. So students really should go in there, look over that Share My Information, make sure that they go ahead and give the access, at nothing else with health and billing, to the families or family members or close friends that they know are helping in this process.
Yes, unfortunately, we cannot share any. We can give you general information. We cannot share any specific information with parents or family members unless they put them on Kingling.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be parents. They can pick whoever they want and stay their relationship, and we'll give them the information.
And you can change it. If your situation changes, at any point, you can go in and cancel access. So don't be worried about that. The student remains in charge of that process.
Yeah, just a reminder, all of this is a legality issue, because when you come here, you are in charge of your own account and your own billing and your own life.
Yeah. And something to point out is I get a lot of parents, some of you starting will not be 18 yet. It happens, you're a minor. But here at the university, you are considered an adult, whether you've turned 18 or not. So if you need your parent to, guide you through this first year especially, it's really great to add them as a delegate so that they could help you. And like it was mentioned, you can always cancel it if you've now taken control of everything and you've got it down. You can always remove the access.
It's all up to you. So as we get towards the end of our session here, some more general questions. But what are your recommendations for managing your own personal finances in college? Because you are, for a lot of people, they're living alone for the first time. They're managing paying this bill because they are the person who's primarily responsible. So what advice do you guys have Darby, do you want to start?
Well, for sure, the two ones that jump out to me, and Sarah can talk more specifically about one of them, is student employment. It's a great way to get involved on campus. All research shows that people who work or hold down a job, usually it's about 10 hours a week, are more engaged with campus, they're more successful academically, and they find their footing more quickly than other students. So it's a great way to have student employment. You get a paycheck every 2 weeks, and that can pay for your incidentals. It can help you to reduce your loan debt if you don't have to take out extra loans to pay for your books and things like that. So taking advantage of student employment, I think, is a huge one. And the second one, I might have got out of my head, was about getting involved.
Well, I can talk a little bit about the idea of having a job on campus as well. A lot of misconceptions are that if you get a job on campus, it won't apply to the rest of your life for starters, or it might just be like filing paperwork. That there's so many other opportunities that count as a job and can also apply to your work study if that's something you qualify for.
You get super valuable work
Exactly.
experience that can help.
Yeah.
The other part I was going to say about keeping your costs down is take advantage of every free thing that the university has. You're a freshman. You're coming here from wherever you are in this world. I mean, we have so many activities, from movies to activities out on the field, athletic events, research opportunities, free lectures. You don't have to spend a penny outside of your life at UM, and that's a great way to start. Like, settle in, take advantage of every free opportunity here, and see what expenses look like. And then you can loosen up the purse strings a little bit if you want going forward. But in the meantime, you're really getting your feet underneath you. You're learning about the campus. You're engaging with other students, and nothing's going to benefit you more as far as the experience you have at UM than doing those types of on-campus activities.
Yeah, I think I get one free meal a day. Just,
From all the
just
activities.
because of some event that's going on campus.
My main advice to everybody would be reach out. They're part of the UM family now. They're coming in new. Email everybody that you need to. Come to our offices. Even if it's not the right office, we'll guide you to where to go, how to help you. We'll call whoever we need to call. Just reach out to us, and we're here.
Yeah, I have to agree. And don't be afraid to ask questions. There are no stupid questions. If you still don't have a financial aid award package, you don't think it's going to be enough, this is your dream school and this is where you want to be, talk to us. See what we can do, what avenues we can help you go down to make this a reality if it's not yet or you're still unsure.
So at this point, we're going to wrap up. Before we do, I'd love for you guys to reintroduce yourself, because it has been 45 minutes since you've been again, and just include the best way that people can get in touch with you or your departments if they have questions as well. Start again.
Okay, I'm Sarah Kaufman. I'm an assistant director in the Office of Undergraduate Financial Aid. Best way to reach us by phone would be 305-284-6000. We are option 2 for undergraduate students. Our email is OFAS, O, as in Frank, A-S, at miami.edu. You choose a question, you can call us. We walk in advising hours. If you want to hang out with us each day, come on in.
I'm Leila Quesada. I work in student accounts. I'm an advisor. We're in ASH 158. Our phone number is 305-284-6430. And our email is saccounts@miami.edu. Again, saccounts@miami.edu.
And I'm Darby Plummer, and I'm with the Kane Success Center. You can reach us at success@miami.edu. You can also call 305-284-4500 to speak with someone in my office. And again, if you don't know who to call, if it's a questions about your school or college, if it's a question about financial aid or student accounts or housing, and you don't know how to get started, you can always start with us, and we'll make sure we get you to the right place.
Just a note that we haven't mentioned is every incoming student currently has a mentor who's been emailing them in their mailbox. So feel free to check your Miami email, and any of these questions, if you're unsure of which department they go to, feel free to direct them to the student mentors first. They'll be happy to help you, and they'll send you in the right direction. Also, we will be having another webinar in 2 weeks. On June 29th, again at noon Eastern Time, that one will be on health and wellness, so we look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you all for stopping by.